Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff. This evening we want to provide an important update for our community. Collective sigh of relief by everyone that's gathered here and beyond, by those that can't join us, with the arrest of wanted suspect Ronnie Palmer Jr. As you know, we've had an active manhunt for Palmer. All of this began approximately 24 hours. Again, it began first with an aggravated assault that had occurred at the Little Caesars on Wallaceville near the Beltway, where Palmer allegedly struck one of the workers after becoming upset at the worker because they had gotten his order wrong. And so he apparently struck him with a pistol, fled the location, and that began a chain of events. Deputy Esqueda, who had been working as search resources for us. We've been out in the communities since Monday. Our deputies have been working 12-hour shifts and then some to make sure that we're protecting our community as they recover from hurricane effects that happened days ago. And so Deputy Esqueda, just being proactive, continue to stay on it, and approximately sometime around 12 a.m. We believe he located the vehicle that was involved in that Little Caesars incident. We don't know exactly what transpired at that point. Again, we're still trying to put the pieces together. But at that point, it appears he was ambushed. He sustained a serious gunfire and was subsequently pronounced deceased at the hospital upon arrival. Since then, we're able to determine that Palmer, again, was indeed the suspect in that aggravated assault case. He was formally charged with aggravated assault. So he had an open felony warrant at that point, and since then there's been an active manhunt. Simultaneously, he also became a person of interest in the capital murder of Deputy Esqueda, and again, the manhunt has been occurring since then. And a lot of different leads have been pursued. A lot of great follow-up investigation happened, leading to this location, the 12300 block of Gita Lane, Ghita. It's a two-story residence here at this location. It's not the only location we're focused on. We develop different leads, great police work, good old-fashioned police work, great work by our partner agencies to identify the location. This evening, with the support of Houston Police Department SWAT, the U.S. Marshals, Precinct 3 Constable's Office, our Harris County Sheriff's Office deputies, and others here at the location, we're able to create a perimeter. We're able to get prepared for entry, and at that point, suspect Palmer was able to exit the location without any further incident, where he was taken into custody. I believe the time was approximately around 7 p.m., more or less. I'd have to confirm that time, but I think it's approximately 7 p.m. There's still an active investigation here, follow-up wise, and our work is still continuing. I want to just be clear, he hasn't been charged yet with anything directly related at this point with the shooting death of Deputy Esqueda. But again, that's part of our follow-up investigation right now. It's been a very busy 24 hours. Our hearts are heavy, but we've all been talking just about the tremendous teamwork that we've seen from our partner agencies at the U.S. Marshals, the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force, FBI, ATF, DPS, our own Sheriff's Office family, units from all over our county, HPD. Everyone has just stepped up, one mission in mind, to make sure that we continue to protect our community and hopefully could bring some justice to our fallen brother. We extend our deepest condolences to the Esqueda family. They're a wonderful family. He's an amazing young man, taken far too soon, a hero. He was a true crime fighter that always was go, 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 and was just loved serving and protecting people. He loved being a cop. He loved being a Harris County Sheriff's Office deputy, and he will be missed. He leaves a tremendous void. Briefly in Spanish, esta noche terminamos la búsqueda del sospechoso Palmer, que fue localizado aquí en una en una vivienda, en una residencia. No era de él, sino parece que es alguien conocido. Lo pudieron arrestar sin incidente. Nos ayudó muchos compañeros del HPD SWAT, nuestra oficina de alguacil, la oficina federal de los US Marshals, el precinto 3, muchos otros que ayudaron a poder arrestarlo sin incidente. Y obviamente nuestras oraciones siguen con la familia Esqueda, que están muy heridos y tristes por todo lo que ha pasado, pero ojalá que esto les pueda dar un poco de calma. Nuestro trabajo sigue adelante porque en este momento el sospechoso Palmer no le han puesto cargos directamente con el asesinato de nuestro oficial, pero en eso estamos en este momento investigando. Si alguien tiene información, le pedimos que por favor nos llamen. If anybody has any information about this incident or incidents, we ask that they still please contact us. They could contact the Harris County Sheriff's Office Homicide Division at 713-274-9100 with any additional information. At this point, I mentioned many of our partners, U.S. Marshals, were out here. Want the chief to say some words about their efforts and just their perspective of what they saw in terms of teamwork and just seamless work, everybody working together, one mission in mind. Very dangerous situation, but everyone stayed focused. They were dealing with rain earlier today, traffic stops, all kinds of stuff, but they got the job done. They're a terrific partner. I spoke to the U.S. Marshal earlier. And Chief, if you want to say something.
Thank you, Sheriff. I appreciate it. My name is Josh Wright. I'm the Chief Deputy Marshal for the Southern District of Texas. This is my Deputy Marshal, Cameron Welch. He's also assigned to the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders and Fugitive Task Force.
Can you get close to the mic?
Sure. Sorry. Is that better? So this is Cameron Welch with the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force, and I'm Josh Wright. And what I want to say is that, from the time we got word about the loss of one of our law enforcement family, the phone calls started going off. We got everybody we could, and I'm not talking just from Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force, but all of our law enforcement friends. We all came together, and we had one mission, and that's to find that suspect and bring him safely into custody without incident. And that's exactly what happened today. And I just want you all to know, and the sheriff and others, and those that were calling in with tips, that we're tremendously grateful and thankful that this was the outcome today, and I'm very proud of all of our partnerships. Thank you.
Like the Chief said, my name is Cameron Welch. I'm a Deputy U.S. Marshal here assigned to the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders Task Force. Our thoughts and prayers go out to our fallen brother and his family and co-workers and friends. It's been a very difficult day in our community, and we came together as law enforcement partners, and we just really did just good old police investigations. We were following up on tips, and we just weren't gonna be stopped. We weren't stopping. We were just vigilant in everything that came through, and followed up with every tip. No stone was left unturned, and we were just very fortunate that the outcome today was what it was. So,
thank you, Cam. It really was just an incredible feeling in the midst of heartbreak and sadness to just really see law enforcement come together, being in our command center and seeing everybody just working together, using their collective brain power, technical skills, and acumen, just to really continue to push forward, tired, and just putting this case together. And it's something that always amazes me about American law enforcement, Texas law enforcement. And it's just something that we all are really proud of. I also want to commend our team here. We've been taking turns rotating in and out, but Major Collier was at the helm here as things were unfolding. Sergeant Lee has been always on point. Chief Wynn as well has been very instrumental as well. And we have Lieutenant Reyes as well that were here, and many others that are back, processing things and connecting dots, and the work still continues, like I said. And I think just in closing, one of Fernando Esqueda's best friends, when I shared the news, he was relieved, and he said Fernando would be very proud at this moment because he was such a cop and he loved good police work. He was all about that. So he would really be very proud to see just everything come together in this investigation. And his work was not in vain. He was relentless in going after a serious offender that had harmed a young man, a poor young man that was just working to serve the community during the hardships and recovery of a hurricane. Just because they got a simple order wrong is no excuse for him to, and he's traumatized, he's assaulted, he had a serious wound, but and Deputy Esqueda was not going to let that stand, and so he went after him, and we finished the job. And again, there's still more work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done, but hopefully this brings some closure. And again, thank you also to our community for the support. The district attorney's office was very helpful. The Crime Stoppers, just everybody coming together, and our community for, again, their thoughtful prayers from all over the country, frankly, that have called in. I'll go ahead and pause now and take some questions.
Sheriff, this could be for either you or for the marshal, but you talked about how you looked at every tip. How significant, how big of a difference did those tips make for this outcome?
I think it's a combination of things. I think we take tips that come in. We try to get the information out. Crime Stoppers is a great partner. But again, also good police work of people talking to people, the relationships they have, us, following up on just, our own follow-up and developing our own leads sometimes. We don't just rely on one strategy. We're looking at different things. At the end, it all just kind of came together. Again, we were at that point when we were here, we were also at other simultaneous locations at the same time. It just happened to be that this was the one that we lucked out. And I always remind people not to be harboring wanted fugitives or anything like that. I always make it a point to let them know that they could be held accountable. I still don't know the connection here. Obviously, he had some connection to this house. I don't think he was the owner of it. I think it may have belonged to an acquaintance of an acquaintance or something like that. Again, that's gonna be part of our follow-up. But rest assured, if charges can be filed on somebody for hindering a fugitive, any fugitive, Gulf Coast violent offenders and the U.S. Marshals do this all the time, is we're not going to tolerate people hiding people out that pose a danger to our community.
Was anyone at home at the home that was found?
Was there anybody at home when?
No, at the time of the arrest, just our fugitive was inside the location.
How long do you think he had been there?
Based off of our investigation, we believe he was there for about 2 hours.
And had been moving around since last night?
That's correct.
As far as the people that captured him, is it the same agency that the deputy works for? Is it the same group of people?
Yeah, one of the things, like I was saying, is, and I think this is an important aspect, it doesn't always happen like this nationally, is we work so well together that there's no egos here. And so in this case, the Houston Police Department, SWAT, the U.S. Marshals, the Gulf Coast Violent Offenders, Precinct 3 constables, our agency was out here as well. At some point, we take lead. Other times, others take the lead. In this one, it was HPD SWAT, I believe, right? And the Gulf Coast, and that were primary. So our deputies were involved, but not in the inner perimeter or at the point of entry and arrest.
Do you think that he was the one that pulled the trigger for?
I'm not going to get to that. I'll let our investigators do the work. I don't want to get ahead of the investigation and jeopardize that in any way. We want to make sure we're thorough. Look, everybody has been the consummate professionals in all this. Look, we have our own personal feelings, our own emotions. So many things run through a moment like this. You talk about just a young man of 28 years old, a wonderful family, who I know the family, on the verge of getting married, a tremendous public servant and crime fighter, to lose their life over something like this. No matter how it transpired, how it went down, we want somebody to be held accountable and to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, as swiftly as possible and as quickly as possible. And we'll let the investigation lead and the evidence lead to ultimately what his involvement was, and anybody else. We don't know. We're not going to rule that out. That's why I said earlier, if anybody has information, we ask that they please give us a call.
And that's what I was going to ask. Are you looking for any other suspects?
We're not ruling that out yet. We'll wait to see. We'd like to see what information comes. Every step in the investigation leads us to more potential evidence, and we could better put together like a puzzle. But again, we ask the public, come forward, give us information if there's something we're missing, if there's somebody else involved. If we want to know. Ultimately, we just want the truth. And wherever that truth takes us, then that's what we want. We want a solid case. And if there was anybody else involved in anything beyond the hindering apprehension, but in the shooting itself, then we want to know.
Sheriff, at one point, did he want to turn himself in? Was there some type of contact with him?
There were some informal efforts that arose where that potential was in place. It never materialized. So we don't know how how real that was, other than there were some discussions that it might be coming to that point, but it never materialized. So we were the ones that eventually were able to track him to this location and kind of force that issue at that point.
And to be clear, did he just walk out of the house? Did you guys have to
Yeah, once he saw basically that it was kind of the end of the road at that point, and saw that we had a great perimeter set and we're ready to get this completed. At that point, it was kind of simultaneously he did kind of come forward. It's my understanding that he did place a call, basically saying, "Okay, I'm coming out," to announce his exit, and we did it professionally, and he was taken without further incident.
A call to who?
Called authorities and just said, "I'm something to the effect of I'm ready to come out." At that point. Anything else?
As far as the, do you think that there was one gun involved? Because there's so many bullets out there.
Yeah, again, it's hard to speculate. I want to be real careful. And I always say, too, look, all this is preliminary. We want to share as much information as we can. We also want to be responsible and not just speculate. It could be, look, they're looking at firearms evidence, and it could be, recently we had 4th of July, too. There could be other evidence out there that may not even be related, but they're going to look at everything. We have a great team of professionals that's what they do best, and our homicide investigators are outstanding, and so we'll let them do the work, and then we'll see where the information takes us. Anything's possible, but we don't know at this point.
Sir, if you answer already this in English, if you can answer in Spanish acerca de si están buscando algún tipo de persona adicional, alguien que lo estaba encubriendo en esta propiedad. Decía que estaba solo en ese momento, pero están investigando.
La investigación sobre la muerte de nuestro oficial sigue procediendo todavía. No sabemos si hubieron más sospechosos, queremos saber eso, por eso le pedimos al público, por favor, que nos llamen y nos den esa información al 713-274-9100 si tiene información adicional que nos puede ayudar en nuestra investigación. Y también, como dije, no pueden tratar de asistir a alguien que está con una orden de arresto, una felonía, o alguien que estamos en búsqueda de esa persona. No lo pueden tratar de esconder o asistir. Si eso pasó y lo podemos comprobar, es muy probable que vamos a ponerle cargos a esa persona o personas. Anything further? All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.